You're good.
I'm good. This is the Miller Minute, and today's winner is April Lucas, so we are going to cover hypothyroidism. This takes a whole lot more than a minute and a whole lot more than 15. Hypothyroidism has multiple causes, and it depends on which cause you have. Is it because of inflammation? Is it because of, honestly, stress? Is it lack of sleep? Is it a combination of all of the above? You know, what are your numbers? What's your TSH? What's your T3? What's your T4? Do you produce reverse T3? You know, these are tests and things that need to actually be kind of panned out and figured out. And then there are two ways to attack it. You have the reductionists model, which they're just going to throw thyroid stimulating hormone at you. They'll throw thyroxine. They'll throw Armour thyroid. They're starting to get to where they are. Going away from Armour thyroid, which, as a more natural solution, I actually like it, but they say that it's not standardized enough. But you have other components in there that really help with that. So, first off, I'm a chiropractor. How does chiropractic deal with this? Well, you have to really think about how chiropractic is supposed to be done. We are being slotted into what is called a reductionist model. Why do you go to the chiropractor? Well, I go to the chiropractor because I got headaches, or I got back pain, or I got this, or I got that. Well, that's technically not the way chiropractor is supposed to work. Chiropractic is supposed to be an optimization technique. It is not in a it doesn't fit well in a reductionist model. We actually do very well with increasing your range of motion, making you work better and more efficiently. So how does that work with the thyroid? If you go back to last week's episode and we start to cover the blood flow, the vascularity, and how it goes to the brain when we adjust upper cervically, that does a lot for you. Now, does it address hypothyroidism directly? No. There's a secondary benefit to the adjustment when you release the endorphins and the opiates that get released when you get adjusted. You get to start to relax. So if one of the primary causes of your hypothyroidism is essentially stress, then we can really help with that aspect, because when you get adjusted, there is a de-stressing component to it, just because of the chemicals that get released with the adjustment. Now, reductionist model, T3, T4, if you want kind of the naturopath's reductionist model, they're going to hit you with selenium, 200 milligrams twice a day. They're going to tell you to get iodine up to about 300 milligrams daily. They're going to hit you with L-tyrosine, 500 milligrams twice a day, and tell you to take your B vitamins. The way I'm going to address it here is we're going to start to really look at your lifestyle. How, why, what are you doing? What are the components that are causing this? If you start to do a lot of reading and research on the gut microbiota, and you start to look into that stuff, what really controls your chemicals, your hormones and things like that, and your immunity, that's where it all starts. So guess what it goes back to? It goes back to diet. It goes back to nutrition. If you don't like vegetables, guess what? There's a very easy way to get your vegetables in. Juice them. You know, if you don't like meat, I've seen you like juice meat.
Ew.
Yeah. But you've got to find a way to do that, to get some protein in. As much as I like to think that I'm really paleo and that diet is just the awesome diet, guess what? It's a great foundation. Once you pass that foundational stage, then you've really got to start to educate yourself. And you need to educate yourself about yourself. Excuse me, my nose itches. What's that old what's the old adage about that? If your nose itches, they're talking about
somebody's talking about you.
And if it's the ear thing, it's you're coming into money or something. I forget what.
If your palm itches, you're coming into money.
Huh. Oh well. Anyway, excuse me. But now I lost it because I was talking about that. Paleo. Oh, so in the last probably 2 years, I've really started to look into the nutritional aspect of it, and then sleep. My baseline recommendation for this is going to be start to look at your body type. What's your body type look like? Are you an endomorph, which is that pear-shaped? Are you an ectomorph, which is the reverse of that, or are you a mesomorph? Do you kind of go between the two? And when you start to look at that, you figure out what's best for you. Is this type of diet that is a low carb? Do you need to go paleo? Do you need to go ketogenic? What are these things? Where do you feel the best at? And it's not about eliminating this. It's about getting your body to the point that it feels good, and then you stay on that path. And as you stay on that path, then you can start to resolve a lot of these things. Hypothyroidism could be nothing more than a symptom of leaky gut. And so it's just one of those things where, like I said, how do you really address hypothyroidism in 15 minutes? As you can see, that playing field is huge. And so, get with a competent doctor, chiropractor, naturopath, functional medicine doctor that doesn't prescribe to the reductionist theory. As we discuss the microbiota, there was a great analogy that I was listening to in a podcast with Dr. Rob Wolf, or he's not a doctor, but Rob Wolf. And the doctor that he was interviewing was like, if you think about your microbiota, and they find these healthy people, and they look at their microbiota, and that's the bacteria in the gut, and they see this plethora of all these different healthy bugs. And so he goes, now what happens if we take those microbiota and inoculate them with somebody who is ill? What happens? And they found that sometimes their symptoms become worse. So you have to really kind of take this step by step. And what the doctor said was, well, think about it this way. If you look at the Amazon, which is very lush and has this great rainfall, and you sit here and you go, okay, I'm going to take this great rainfall that has made this area so lush, and I'm going to take it out of the Amazon and out of the rainforest, and I'm going to put it over here into the arid Southern California and Northern Arizona climate. What's going to happen? Mudslides and all kinds of issues that are just going to go crazy. So it's not something where you can sit there, is this area this way because of that, or is it just the way it's developed? And then if you want to develop this other way, this other area this way, you can't just take that and move it over there. It has to be a developmental process to bring it up to it. And so they're starting to say people that are healthy, because they are healthy, have a more diverse microbiota just because. And, when you're healthy, you feel good. When you feel good, you want to do different things, and you want to try different things, and you want to eat different things. And you incorporate all of this experience into this body, and that's what makes you healthy. So how do you attack hypothyroidism? You really start to bear down and take a look at yourself and educate yourself. And you start to go at it that way. I could probably say, going on 6 years ago, I was probably borderline hypothyroid. And I can honestly say that because if you do any looking up of research and you look at my favorite drink used to be Mountain Dew. I could pound 2 liters of Mountain Dew a day easily. And then if you start to mix stuff in it, then it goes down even faster. So one of the main components in Mountain Dew is brominated vegetable oil. Well, that brominated vegetable oil has an affinity to the receptor sites for your thyroxine and your thyroid stimulating hormone, your T3 and your T4. So guess what? That's a suppressant. And that thing right there can hit you. So I would love to go on and on and on and on and on, but we have children showing up, and I'm going to make one of those things. Before we go, if you like the video, you are supposed to like, share, and comment with a topic, because I guess that's what allows it to come up easier, and it's easier to find, and that way we can do a random number generator on the ones that we have and figure it out. And that's for a chance for lunch also. So the winner of lunch this time was April Lucas, and I am sorry for the horrible delivery. I will start to work on my public speaking and get rid of the ums and the ands. But in all honesty, this was a tough subject to kind of just pare down to 15 minutes. So there we go. Thank you.